Hey there, you two. I'll tell you what employers don't understand for nearly every business in America right now, and that is that there's the disconnect of people don't want to work. It's not that people don't want to work. People want to work. They want a job that's actually going to be worth going to. A good example would be, I have 3 kids. We have a sizable house. We have a lot of money that has to go toward bills. And if I were to take a job at, let's just say McDonald's, but that actually might be decent. About my local supermarket for $8 an hour, rather than the job that I'm getting as a therapist, we would drown. We would not be able to pay all the bills. And they take that as, well, nobody wants to work. It's not that. It's that people look at their money situation, they look at their bills, they look at their debt, they look at what they absolutely need to survive, and then they say, you know what? None of these businesses are offering anywhere near that. So everybody goes on this whole tangent about, well, if they raised minimum wage all across the nation, all that's going to happen is commodities and other things are going to get more expensive, and then it's just going to be the same thing. That's not true, because those things have been getting more expensive nonstop forever, since the minimum wage stopped going up. And we're still acting like they'll go up if we raise the minimum wage. Okay, that's obvious. That's going to start happening, but it's going to happen at the rate it's been happening as minimum wages went up. We need to keep raising it. It's a no-brainer, and anyone who can't see that is just doesn't understand the simplest thing it's not difficult to understand. Literally everything gets more expensive, then you have to start paying more. I don't understand how that isn't. That just made sense right there. That's it. That's the statement. Things are more expensive. People need to live. You need to give them more money. And the problem is that people don't understand that the minimum wage was intended to be a livable wage. And livable doesn't mean livable in your parents' basement, or livable as long as you have like 5 of those jobs and you have a spouse that has 5 also, maybe you might just barely make it out alive. It's not designed for people who don't have the opportunity to do amazing things that other people have done. Because it's always somebody that's like, oh, I did this and I climbed out of there and I did this and I started this business and that business, or I went there and I climbed the ladder, I did all this hard work. And it's so awesome to hear that story from somebody, because it's somebody who, in the face of all this crap, didn't drown. But that's one person. Most people are going to drown. It's not something where you can't be what you want to be in today's world. If you want to be something, you can't just be it. It doesn't matter if you believe in it. Doesn't matter if you think you can do it. If you lack the skill, the knowledge, the money to go to school for whatever it is you want to do, it depends on. It all depends. Like there's the people that say school's a waste of money. It's not. Depends on what you're doing. I'm going to be a psychologist. You have to go to school for psychology. You can't just be one. But if I was going to be a plumber, I'm pretty sure that's a trade school thing, where you don't go to a regular college. You go to a specific school for that profession. Electrician, technician, like all these different things that you have to do specific, or you can do specific schools for. Trade schools are just as important as a college. It's not one or the other. Same thing as idiots saying public school versus private school. One has to go. No, as long as the people are doing the job, which they are, to the best of their ability. Yes, I'm cleaning my glasses with toilet paper. I don't care if you don't like it. Deal with it. But it frustrates me to see all these people don't want to work things, and that's not the case at all. It is not that people want to stay on unemployment, because you may not know this if you're somebody who still says people just don't want to work, but the pandemic unemployment has ended. It's over. It's done. They're not doing it. At least not where I'm at. They're not doing it. But yeah, it got me through. That got me through until I found this position, which I found it in the nick of time, because I found it, got the offer, and then I got hair. That's not my hair. Other people's hair that is on my beard because it sticks to it. The freaking cat lays next to me in bed, and then there's every night. Ugh. But yeah, this idea that people want to stay on welfare or unemployment, that they prefer that, is grossly incorrect. Because you're saying part of the problem. So let me make a really easy to understand thing that even a kid can understand. You need $10. A job is offering you $5. That's not enough. You'll lose this opportunity that the $10 is going to get you. The government will give you $12 because you have no job and you're on unemployment. I mean, there is no person in America today that wouldn't take that 12. If they say they are, then they're just lying, and that's what they do. They lie, and they do that whole. It's the every time you make fun of them, you have to do a Southern accent for some reason. It's always like, I'd do that in a heartbeat. I'm a hard-working individual. But usually those people that are hard-working individuals found a job that goes ahead and it replaces what needs to be replaced, and it gives you the money to afford that other thing. So it's easy to understand. I just don't understand why people don't. That's the disconnect, though, between the employers and the workers. They want to do as little as humanly possible, and business-wise, that makes sense. You have to cut corners where you can cut corners where you can safely cut corners in order to keep your business afloat, especially with everything that's been going on. But at no point in any company ever should that come at the expense of the employees. I spent 3 years with a company that was so hell-bent on customer service that the employees were treated so poorly that most of the people that leave there end up getting really sick. I got diabetes after I left there. My goodness, you can't treat the people that work for you like crap and think that things are just going to work out for you. It's not going to happen. But that's where the problem is right now, I think, is that people think that there's this big they make it this battle between workers and people that aren't working. And they just completely ignore the fact that the problem exists in the corporations, not the individuals that either are not getting the jobs, who are quitting, who are walking out. I mean, I just keep seeing so many people talking about people being lazy, and they just don't want to do it anymore because they had that year vacation. There was nothing vacation about last year. That was hell on earth, for crying out loud. That was terrible. And people want to go back to work. They want that normal feeling back, even if it means they have to get up early in the morning. They don't care. It just isn't there for them anymore. Everything changed, and people aren't offering what they should. And you could learn that real easy by going to any business today and just look at how the employees are acting. I mean, there's people there that don't care. They don't want to work there. That's the only job they could get, and they took it, and they're there. And they can't really get rid of them, because if they do, they're looking at possibly not finding somebody to replace them. I'm just frustrated, and I wanted to rant about it a little bit. Needed to rant about the fact that if you run a business and there's people that work for you, the key to that business being successful is to take care of those people, because they will in turn go and take care of the customer the way they're supposed to. That's not some hidden secret I discovered in all my years of studying psychology. That's something I knew when I worked my first job. You treat your employees right, they turn around and do their job right. You treat them like crap, and it's human nature to want to get vindictive and say, well, then I'm not going to do this. Most of the good workers I've worked for, myself included, would stop doing certain things because you don't get recognition for it, you don't get paid for it. It's something extra you were doing, and when it didn't get done, you got yelled at for not doing it, even though you didn't have to. It was like this extra thing you started doing on your own. You went the extra mile, And then it was too much. You had to take care of yourself first. That's another big thing that people need to do. You take care of your mental health. And people are so pissed off that Americans right now who don't have jobs don't want to sacrifice their mental health just to bring in not enough money to drown. Why would you do it? How are you going to pull that off? Is every American now going to have that story of I scraped and I pulled together and I sacrificed, and there were nights where I didn't eat and my kids ate the smallest bits and we lived under a bridge for a while? Like all these little sob stories you hear from people, which are very powerful tales of how they climbed out of poverty. You expect every American to start doing that now, or most of them, the ones that aren't working, you just want them to have that story of I couldn't find a job with enough money. People think what they're going to think. They say what they're going to say, and nothing I say is going to change anyone's mind. Certainly not. That's pretty. Ooh, look at my ears. No, nobody listens to people that like to rant like I do, but I like to rant, and really, really often lately I've been thinking about how much employers don't actually concern themselves with the well-being of their workers. That the whole crappy pizza party has become a meme, even though that is a perfect example of how much they just don't care. The reason why all these people that would say, if I were a millionaire, this is the good stuff I would do, never become millionaires, is because they keep doing that stuff already. I'd give to the poor, they give to the poor. I'd give to charity, I'd give to charity. I'd sacrifice this, they sacrifice that. I wouldn't buy a crazy, amazing car. I'd just get something I need. That's what they do. They do all the stuff they say they would do. They spend the money as it comes in. Whereas if they didn't and they saved it, they could get pretty far up there in terms of money. But that's why millionaires, it's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. Unless they start a business and they put people to work for them. Then it's no longer their money. They can do what they want with it. It's, you want this business to run. You want people to work for you. Treat them right or close the business. Stop thinking that you can just treat people like garbage and ignore it because it doesn't affect you at all. And it doesn't. You get all these people that are getting mad saying these billionaires should give all their money away. That's not true. They earned the money. It's their money. They can do what they want with it. But if you expect people to work for you, you have an obligation as a human being, which I assume that's what they are, unless those green lizard people that people always talk about. I don't know much about that. But you have an obligation as a human being to actually give a crap about your workers and, pay a livable wage. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. It's the most insane thought today in America that in America, the greatest country on earth, that anyone who gets a job should at the very least be able to make enough money to live if they're working full time. And somehow that is a crazy thought to people. Because they have it in their mind that minimum wage isn't meant for that, because that's what they were told by their dad or something else in the past, and that their dad was misinformed because that's not what it is. But anyway, I don't care anymore. I am greatly misinformed about a great many things in this realm of conversation because I don't really look too much into all this stuff. I just know the people I've worked for in the past. I know how you treat your employees, and I know that that is the key to a successful business. The way your employees are treated is how your business is going to thrive. Treat them like crap, the customers get treated like crap. That's why if you try to go to customer service for any of these businesses, nothing happens. Franchises with restaurants, you go there and you wait an hour in the drive-through line, and it's like out of stubbornness at that point because you already know the food's going to be the crappiest food you ever tasted. I mean, but you shouldn't be there anyway. But still, that, oh my goodness, gets me so riled up. Every local business where I live right now has hired people who don't care because it's not a job they want and it's not making enough money for them to live, but it's the only source of money they've got now. And so they're working it, and it just bleeds out of them. And I get to that point where I'm interacting with them, and there was a time when I'd get angry at them because of the fact that they suck at their job. They obviously don't care, and they're being rude to me. And I'm not there anymore. I'm like, if I were in that position, would I do that? How much would I push myself not to be that person, especially if I was aware that not enough people are applying to that job for me to actually get replaced unless I really, really, really do something bad. And you could see it. It's in their very soul, for crying out loud. It's like they're screaming on the inside, and it's just bleeding out because they can't hold it in anymore. There's people that I have interacted with over the past 3 years at local places that I go to who are still there. Their eyes look just defeated. They got the marks. You can tell they're not sleeping well, and their attitudes have completely and totally changed. I can't even make like fun little playful banter with them anymore because it's just they've had enough. And so many idiots are out there trying to say that it's because people don't want to work. It's a stupid thing to say. Who wants to work? I'm pretty sure everybody would be more than happy to sit at home, watch TV, have food delivered by Uber, have groceries delivered, and not do anything ever. Nobody wants to work. You moron. Of course they don't. But they're not unwilling to. There's a difference. They're not unwilling to work. There's a worker shortage because people don't want to work. There's a worker shortage because every time you put a job out there, you offer an amount of money that isn't enough to help them live. And so they have to go look elsewhere. Do they find a job? Probably not. But they're going to keep looking. We spend every day, it seems, trying to find a new reason to hate each other. When the most basic and easy thing to understand in Christianity is love your neighbor as you love yourself, which I guess people must really think that they're terrible people and they hate themselves a lot because they treat people like garbage and they are horrible to each other. I just wanted to rant. I don't know what to do. I don't even know if I'm going to post it because people are stupid. And as we all know, it's not about being truthful. It's about being right. Those are two different things. It's about winning, not being right. It's not about being right. It's about winning. So as long as you win the argument, it doesn't matter if you're correct. It doesn't matter how wrong you are. You won. You can just relax and move on from there. And the other person sucks. And the reality is that's all we care about these days. We don't want the truth. We don't want reality. We don't want to fix what's wrong. We just want to be able to be one of the larger groups saying, well, this is all you're doing. And be like, yeah, I'm part of that group. I'm part of the group that says people don't want to work. I'm one of the good ones. You're not. You're just an idiot that hates your neighbor. You're an idiot that doesn't understand basic human compassion. You're an idiot who thinks you are educated in a way that you are not. And you're an idiot if you take anything I say on this video and use that as a basis to say, see, that's it. I'm just a guy talking on a camera. What you should do is go to Google and start searching stuff, but stop searching for articles that already feed what you think is true. Stop searching for things that feed your narrative. If you think something is wrong or untrue, try to prove that thing is true to yourself. The only reason not to do it is you're afraid you might end up changing your mind. Is that a bad thing? If you discover something is true and you believe it, is that bad? Is it really that bad to be wrong about something? No, it's not. So if you think something's wrong, if you think something's false, if you think something needs to change, don't try to prove that to yourself. That's easy to do because there's always going to be stuff that isn't true or is twisted to make it fit what you want. Try to prove the opposite and see what happens. You'll find quite often that you change your mind on a lot of things. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. It just is what it is. Assuming I can post longer than 10-minute videos, because I never could before in the past, I'm going to try and post this video. But yeah, don't even bother trying to I mean, I'd say don't bother trying to comment, but people comment. If anyone watches this, nobody's. I have a problem with my ring finger. It's awesome. Nobody's watching my channel aside from my 2 fans, which is great. I love having 2 fans. I wish Peanut was still here, but don't know where they went. Anyway, either you have what it takes to look something up for yourself, or you rely on people like Tucker Carlson or Shepard Smith or other people like that. I don't know, they might be all local people. I don't know. You rely on people that are already twisting a narrative toward one way or another, and that's that you've already made your mistake. If you Google search and pick everything off the first page, you've already made your mistake. A study is one of the best possible ways to find out if something is true or not. And unfortunately, people don't want to take what is very easy to do, the step that is very easy to do, which is to figure out how you can read a study. And that's because it would take at least a day of nonstop reading to figure out how to do it, and then you go start searching things. It's not hard to do. And I say that because I had it in one day. I had it down, hey buddy, and then continue to hone that ability going forward. But yeah, it's not that hard. If you like what I said, if you agree with it, don't believe it, go see for yourself how people are. Go look into the way markets work. Look at how inflation works with raising the minimum wage and all that good stuff, and you'll see for yourself. Otherwise, listen to your friend that pretends like they think they know what they're talking about, and don't think for yourself. Listen to the news. Listen to whatever Facebook thing you've seen. Listen to that YouTube video your friend shared with you, which is me. I'm the YouTube video, and I'm telling you to stop listening. If you're planning on basing your belief off anything I said, or if you're planning on being like, oh, you're wrong, well, it's a YouTube video. Do you think I give a crap what somebody thinks who's watching my YouTube video? In terms of whether or not they think I'm wrong or right? I don't. It's a YouTube video. I'm not like some professor like this. Today's class, we're going to teach you about the mechanics and the know-how in terms of money and moolah, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to... hold on. Going to go ahead and end this video. I'll try to post it. If it doesn't post, then nobody's going to see it because I'm not going to edit it and put it in. That's just my frustration lately, is watching people being torn down because the business they're working for says they can't afford, says they can't afford to pay them a livable wage when they could. Hire fewer workers, pay them the right amount of money. They are nicer to the customers. More customers will come in. You'll be able to hire another worker, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's how business is meant to work. High turnover is a bad thing, but you can see yourself right there. It is what it is. So you don't have to agree with me, and I don't care if you don't. It's your life, your mind. Just do yourself a favor and actually do the research yourself. Real research, not this video and not Facebook things, and not one article on the front page of Google that's already run through an algorithm to match what you believe and have posted about in the past. Look for proof of what you don't believe in, because then you're going to find all the loopholes you need to find. You're going to find all the plot holes, not loopholes. You're going to find all the problems with it easily because you'll actually be looking for it. But if you keep looking and it's like, that makes sense, oh, that makes sense, oh, that makes sense, you change your mind. You realize you were wrong and you move forward. That's literally how science works. It changes because something new comes along and, oh, that's it. Okay, we're going to start going that route now. You know, that's how learning is. That's how you learn. What are you doing? I'm not going to choke you. What's wrong with you? All right, we're going to go. Ellie, you want to do the wink? No, No, go like this.